More lawmakers on Capitol Hill are addressing a whistleblower's bombshell claims that the government has recovered non-human aircraft. Air Force veteran and former intelligence official David Grusch gave an exclusive interview to NewsNation this week. He says the military has kept a UFO program secret from the public and from Congress for decades. Well, now the head of the House Oversight Committee says they're preparing to hold hearings into the allegations, and some senators are telling NewsNation they're skeptical of the claims. NewsNation's Joe Khalil is live in Washington for us tonight. Joe, what are you hearing?
Yeah, Elizabeth, as you know, we've been talking to dozens of lawmakers over the last couple of days about this story. Many of them are really fascinated by the claims made by David Grusch. They want to learn more, and they think that it's worth exploring as a Congress. But you've got a couple of others that are really skeptical about this. And I want to focus on that today because I think that's an important part of the story. So we talked to a couple of them. For example, one is Senator Lindsey Graham, who told us that he simply doesn't think that the government could hold such an enormous secret for so long. And we also talked to Senator Mark Kelly, who, by the way, before had the title senator, was an astronaut. So he's actually spent time in space. He was also a Navy captain. And he told us he has trouble accepting the idea that military officials would simply mislead Congress in the way that Grusch has explained. Here's a bit of both of them from our interviews.
If we'd really found this stuff, there's no way you can keep it from coming out.
You think so?
Yeah, okay. I just, human nature being what it is, there's a physical piece of a spacecraft or an intact spaceship. Would have known about it by now.
Obviously, whistleblowers have protection. It'll be, interesting. And I am, in favor of science and data, getting the facts.
Do you doubt that military intelligence is being, I guess, forthcoming with Congress, or, would they have reasons?
I haven't seen any reasons to believe that they're not forthcoming.
Now, I should point out, Elizabeth, that neither one of those senators pointed out any specific holes in the credibility of the whistleblower himself. They said that they respect whistleblowers, just skeptical about some of the things in the allegations.
I'm curious, Joe, if and when Congress does hold hearings, I'm assuming David Grusch will be right there in the witness chair.
It's a really interesting question about what these hearings actually will look like. And I've talked to the people who are going to put them on. They have a big wish list of things. So it's not clear whether they're going to get what they want. One of them is that they want to talk to David one-on-one. They also want to see if they can talk to anybody in this alleged program that he has described, this top secret program that's designed to recover craft from these crash sites. But that's a really tall order. One more thing they want to see is they say there are a ton of other videos that have not yet been released showing some of these UAPs, UFOs, that the DOD has only released a handful. They want to see more. They say they exist. But again, all of that really questionable as to whether they can get that on paper, on hard drives, and into a congressional hearing.
Yeah, we've had former Navy pilots on this show saying that there are many, many, many more videos, and that they're seeing and recording videos of these objects on a nightly basis. But I got to figure, if you're going to investigate David Grusch's claims, you need to talk to David Grusch himself. All right, Joe Khalil, thanks so much for that report. And tune in this Sunday to hear new exclusive revelations about the alleged secret government program as part of an hour-long special, We Are Not Alone. The UFO whistleblower speaks. It will debut exclusively on NewsNation at 9 p.m. Eastern. That will be followed by a live hour of in-depth analysis anchored by NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Enton.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.